Hello YouTube, BeyondG here. I decided to make my first video on the game that started it all for me, Diablo by Blizzard Entertainment. The year was 1996 and I just purchased my first brand new state-of-the-art gaming PC, a Pentium 120 with a whopping 16 megabytes, not gigabits, but megabytes of RAM. After a hefty $1,800 purchase, I had to wait a little while before I could purchase a new game for my new rig, and had to make do with the game demo discs that came with the computer. Classics like Putt Putt and Fatty Bear, and others which I can no longer remember. But when I had the spare cash and went out into the next town that had a computer store, one game stood out to me and I bought it based on the cover art alone. That game was Diablo. I guess I was pretty lucky I didn't get burned and wound up with a game I'd play a lot over the next few years, until Diablo 2 came out. I remember playing late at night in the dark, delving down into the deep, dark catacombs under that old cathedral, slaying monsters and all kinds of foul beasts and demons. For a simple point-and-click game, it had a lot to offer. I also got my cousin hooked on playing it, and we lovingly dubbed the game Rehablo, since it was turning into a borderline addiction that was hard to get away from. Little did I know that years later, another game would reignite my obsession with gaming. A little-known game I affectionately called World of Warcraft. What is it with Blizzard and their games being so addictive? I'm sure Diablo had a small part in lowering my grades at school a few notches, not that that mattered much. Being a powerful warrior and vanquishing my enemies, gaining new gear and loot, and leveling up to godlike power so I could take on the nastiest of foes was much more rewarding. I can't remember if I ever beat the first game. It was many moons ago, but I do remember trying out the other classes and never found them as fun as the warrior character. But I was born and raised on stories like Conan, Lord of the Rings, Narnia, and the like. Whenever I'd go into the woods as a kid, a nearby stick would become a mighty sword, my clothes were now impenetrable magical armor, and I could slay monsters in the form of tree branches and bushes. So when I got a bit older and computer games came along, games like Diablo were right up my alley. I did have a Sega Genesis where my other friends were on the Nintendo. I played games like Altered Beast and the Golden Axe, but it wasn't until Diablo and Diablo 2 that I became a true PC gamer. In recent times, I found programs such as Devolution X for Diablo, which I'm running now. I'll leave links to the GitHub page for anyone who wants to use it, as well as an archive.org site where you can get an ISO of the original game. I'm not sure on the legality of the ISO, so I'll leave that up to you, but since I did legally purchase the game and lost the discs long ago, I feel as though I'm well within my rights. So I thought I'd give it a go while we wait for other things. If you'd like to see more Diablo gameplay or perhaps a live stream, leave me a comment down below. I would also like to go over a lot of the other games I have in my fairly extensive Steam library and give them a review. I want to thank you all for joining me in this trip down memory lane, and I hope you'll join me on future videos. I'm sure you all know about the like and subscribe jive that we all need to grow our channels, but I don't plan on asking for that in future videos. You all know the drill. If you do wind up giving Diablo a go for the first time, or start playing again for the nostalgia of hours lost in the crypts, leave me a comment and let me know what you think. Well, that's all for this one. I hope to see you on the next one. Take care.